name of
Sure.
this one?
So it's a piece, also we're sticking with Edmond Gautier, a French lute composer, and it's a piece called Le Rossignol, which means the nightingale.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Sure.
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
What do you say to when you say to young people, "Oh, I play the harpsichord"?
Right.
Do you get a lot of what? What's
Right.
going on? Or do you get? I knew what it was
Right.
when I heard that you played this instrument.
Yeah.
But tell me about your interaction with people. And
So most people will think that you play, so when you say the harpsichord, they'll think you said the harp, and you have to explain to them, no, it's a harpsichord, and usually I'll pull out my iPhone, I'll show them a picture of my instrument, which speaks to the level of nerdery I think that most musicians have, and then they realize, okay, and they start to get an idea, and I say, well, if I'm sure you've heard it, if you heard it on, like, let's say, classical NPR, you'd recognize the sound.
And have you played it alongside with someone else? Like, have you done concerts, or tell me about some
Yeah,
of the
so actually I
things.
just finished, just a weekend before last, I did actually a piano and harpsichord concert with a friend of mine who is a pianist. We played at the Brookline School of Music, and so we played a set of very intimate pieces, all very short pieces, similar to the pieces that I played, or I'm playing here on the show. But that was a lot of fun, and having the two instruments contrasting like that, the two main keyboard instruments of the last 300 years, was a lot of fun. We started with the harpsichord, though, since people could adjust. It was easier to adjust going from the harpsichord to a piano rather than piano to harpsichord for obvious reasons. It's clearly not a loud instrument.
Okay,
So,
okay. So
yeah.
would you play it like?
We didn't play it simultaneously, no.
Okay.
So we definitely, I did the first half, he did the second half. So it's definitely the instrumental combination, something that you want to not combine with a piano. Although he did have the idea of doing some kind of a maybe like a Lady Gaga arrangement or something, just for some kicks. But we ended up not doing that. But yeah, so it's definitely something that you wouldn't play with modern instruments. In playing with ensembles, you'd use copies of Baroque instruments, so Baroque violin, Baroque oboe, Baroque cello.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like,
yeah.
do you do? Have you ever played alongside a harp, or?
Oh, so yeah, so when I was in school at NEC, yeah, I definitely played alongside a lot of different instruments. So double bass actually was one of the more odd ones, but harp as well. I had a friend who was a Baroque flute player. Yeah, so there's actually quite a lot of ensemble music written for, of course, for basso continuo, for the harpsichord accompaniment and other instruments.
And so, do you get out there in the community and kind
I'm
of
hoping to do more of that now. Actually, I'm hoping to now. I've got this fantastic instrument, so I'm hoping to do more of that in the future. I certainly still, of course, have a lot of friends that I went to school with. So hopefully more of that now that I actually have a great instrument to use.
Because we booked you a while ago on this
Right.
on the show, and this wasn't ready yet. But were you
Correct.
playing on something else? What was the,
So there was actually a period where I was actually I wasn't playing for I guess a good 4 or 5 months.
Okay, that must have
so,
driven
yeah,
you
so
crazy.
I had sold another instrument, yeah, to make room for this one, and there was
Yes.
there was a time period where I didn't have anything, so that was a bit rough, yeah.
And how often do you play? Do you play every day?
Every
Do
day,
you-
yeah.
You
Definitely,
do.
I practice every day, at least for a couple of hours. I
And
do my
this is
best.
your primary. You play on this one.
Yes, this
This
is my
is
yeah,
it.
this is my only instrument.
This
yeah.
is your go-to.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask the question I ask all of my guests on the All Friends Cabaret.
Sure.
You know, if there's an interest, I invite people to join my show. And I would like to ask you, how would you encourage someone to follow their passion? You're very passionate about this, you could tell.
Sure.
You love this, this style of music and the harpsichord. How would you encourage someone to follow their dreams? And
So, I mean, I would say follow your bliss, as the mythologist Joseph Campbell used to say. Start there. Just do what you feel drawn to, like what you like, follow your bliss. At some point, I mean, you have to think about certainly practicality, particularly in the arts. I think, as we both know, you have to think
Yes.
about eventually how are you going to make a living? What are you going to do? I obviously don't make a living playing 17th century French harpsichord and lute music. But I would say, start, with what you love. Go to people that, other artists in your area that you respect and whose work you admire.
Right.
And get their honest feedback. And definitely, be willing to put yourself out there and open to criticism and to feedback. But in the end, you ultimately have to follow what you want to do and follow your intuition.
Yeah,
I
and
would say,
enjoy- and
yes,
enjoy
be
what
happy
you
and
do.
enjoy it. Yeah.
And then tell us some of the music. You have some presentations on YouTube. So tell me about some of the things you've put together.
Oh, sure. So I've done,
Some of the music.
yeah. So I definitely have done a lot of 17th century French lute music. That's really interesting. That actually has not been performed on the harpsichord, but because the lute was a plucked string instrument like the harpsichord, it's a very idiomatic music to play on this instrument. So I've done a whole series of 17th century French lute music. I've also worked in some Bach as well, some excerpts from big works like the Goldberg Variations and the French Suites.
And so how could our guests find you?
Oh, sure. So I am on YouTube. My username is Mikey B. Boston.
All right.
And then I also have a website
like it.
called Pieces for a Private Place, which is
Yes,
devoted
tell me about
exclusively-
that, yeah.
So I launched that website really to explore this 17th century French lute music on the harpsichord. So I launched that website. So that's piecesforaprivateplace.com, all spelled out. And I wanted to use that as a medium to be able to explore, my thoughts and feelings about studying this music and playing it on the harpsichord, and the things I was encountering as a player, as well as, of course, to showcase as well videos and stuff of me playing and the music
Yeah,
itself.
right.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So, like Michael here, you can join us here on the All Friends Cabaret. Bring us your talents, what you're passionate about. Passion is really what it's about, right? Just enjoying
would
what you
agree.
do.
Yeah.
And reach out to me. I'm on Twitter, Facebook. You can contact me via email to join me on the show. Michael, you have been just a fabulous guest for us
Sure.
here tonight. What a treat.
Thanks for having
And
me.
thank you for bringing this beautiful instrument
Sure.
and showing our audience just all about this wonderful music. So we're going to have you close the show
Okay.
and tell us what piece. And thanks so
Sure.
much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. It's
Yes.
great. This is going to be a piece called Andromeda by the younger cousin of Edmond Gautier named Denis Gautier. It's one of the greatest pieces, I think, in the entire repertoire. Very touching. And,
Wonderful.
This is how it goes.
Wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. We'll see you next time. you.